Hello. So I am going to show you how I got artwork into my home at a financially responsible price. And there's just a couple things you're going to need. First, you'll need to know the size of the frames that you have, whether you've bought them new or you've thrifted them. Go ahead and measure, make sure you know exactly what size of prints you need to go inside the frames. So have those all written down. The second thing you'll need is a computer that has access to the internet, as well as PowerPoint. So whether you have that on your computer, I believe most libraries have computers with PowerPoint on them if you don't have the Microsoft suite, but that will be important that you have that too. So you'll need measurements of your pictures, a computer, internet, and PowerPoint. So I'm going to go ahead and take you first to the websites that you can use to find artwork. Let's see if I can pull that up here. Okay, so the first website that I really found interesting and had a lot of stuff was the Met. I only found a few prints on here. The one that I found the most on was the Art Institute of Chicago. So these are two websites that have artwork that is downloadable for you, and you can reproduce it. So those are the two that I used. You can also go to Etsy and buy downloadable prints. Some of them will come specifically meant for certain sizes of frames. I believe you should be able to download them and change the image size. So if you need it to be bigger than a 16 by 20 frame, then you can do that. So if you don't want to spend hours perusing through the websites of art galleries, you can go to Etsy and get some already kind of themed and grouped artwork. So I thought this one was really pretty. So for the Met, if you are going to use it, you are going to want to go to search. Actually, no. You're going to want to go to art and hit the Met collection. And it's super important here that you go to advanced collection search and then you select open access. Like I said earlier, this just means that it is available to you to download and reproduce. So you're not going to get in trouble for printing it. If you scroll initially, you're going to see a bunch of random stuff like plates and arrowheads and pieces of terracotta, which maybe you like that kind of thing. It's not really my kind of thing I want to put on my wall. So I very quickly learned that it's helpful if you go ahead and change this filter to something like paintings or drawings. Drawings, there's a lot of cool things you can find. A lot of the drawings are going to be a little less colorful, but you get some really cool like architectural type stuff. So drawings is a nice one. Also, you can search paintings, I believe. Let's see. Yeah. And as you can see, they have 8,201. So it's a lot of scrolling. Something I found helpful as I just spent hours going through here was just remembering what page I was on so that I could go back to it. But I just had a drink in hand and I sat down when I had some free time and just looked. So it's gonna be a little bit tedious. The first painting that I found on the Met's website that I really liked was this one. It's called The Bathing Pool. It did print a little darker, so I don't know if I would recommend it unless you want to go ahead and mess with the lighting and make it lighter. But I just thought it was so pretty. So if you want to download a picture that you find, like let's just say you like this one, Rocks and Sea, you're going to click on it. You're going to click download. Some people will right click and hit save image. The only problem with that is that it's only going to save this image, not like the full size. So you're going to hit this download button right here, and then it'll pull it open as a full size image. So at this point, you do need to right click and hit save image as. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with the painting that I had printed and it's on my wall. So I'm going to right click, save image as, and it'll automatically pull up your downloads folder. So save. Yes, we're going to replace it. I think it's already currently in my downloads folder. So there's the Met. Now the Chicago Art Institute has a lot more things you can change in your search, which is why I liked it so much. So if you go to the collection, you are going to get show filters. And then down here is where you want to click public domain. So once again, available for you to reproduce and print. What I really enjoyed was that you could look up artwork type. So I could change to painting or print or drawing or textile. And then you could also even search by color theme. So if you you want a specific highlight color, you can do that. They have different styles of artwork. They have different subjects, which is one I really enjoyed using because I really found myself gravitating towards landscapes. And they've even got mediums. So like, what is the form that they use to make the artwork? Was it glass, graphite? Is it ink? That kind of thing. So as you can see, a lot of really cool stuff on here. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the ones that I found on this website that I really enjoyed. The first one is a huge print on our wall. It's fishing boats with hucksters. And so for this website, if you have something that you want to download, you're going to go ahead and click this download button right here. And it's going to automatically put it in your download folder. So this is another large print that we have on our wall. This one was under prints and drawings, whereas the fishing boat was under painting and sculptures. So, give yourself some time to look around. I believe I've already downloaded this one, so we won't download it. And then another one that I have is the Great American Shrike. This one's really neat. And then I have Head of Vengeance on my wall as well. So all of this, took me a fair amount of time to find, but, stick with it and you'll find what you want. So the next thing we'll do is we will look at the FedEx website. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video really quick while I get that all ready for you. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and open up our internet again and go to FedEx Office. This is just the website that I had used. I believe you can do a similar thing through Staples or Office Depot or whatever, your local supply store is. I found this fairly inexpensive, depending on what size of picture you're wanting to get printed. But the best way and the cheapest way is to do a poster print. So you're going to go to this banners, signs, and posters tab. And there are a couple different types of posters. We don't really want the mounted poster. We're going to be looking at photo posters and poster prints. Photo posters are going to print out on a glossy finish. So they're going to be a little bit more like your standard picture that you get printed. When I was doing this, I felt like a matte finish would probably look more realistic, like artwork. Most artwork is not finished with a glossy finish. So I did a poster print. And when you go in here, you'll see that it'll give you this option of matte paper. I think that's the only option. And then you can change the orientation of the poster and the size. The nice thing about this is it's also going to print it on a pretty durable piece of paper. So it's not like you're printing these pictures on a plain sheet of white paper. But this is the important part. The size of the poster. So these are your options through the FedEx website. The size will depend on how many pictures or how many art prints you're wanting to get printed, and how many you think you can fit onto one poster, because this is how we save money, is we put multiple art prints on one poster. So you're going to get one big sheet, depending on, whatever size, and it's going to have 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe pictures that you want to get printed. It just depends on the size. So you're going to take a look at your list of your frames and the artwork that you're going to fill, and figure out, okay, do I have one really large, like let's say you have one that's going to be 16 by 20. You're definitely going to need a bigger poster. Like you could do 16 by 20, or you could get bigger and put multiples on there. So we're going to pretend like our artwork is going to fit on a 24 by 36. So that's going to be the size that I'm going to pick. If I have more prints than that, I could go even bigger and do 36 by 48, which is $69. So depending on how much money you have to spend and how many prints you want, will kind of dictate what you choose. So 24 by 36 is going to be the size of the poster. Now you're going to write that number down and you're going to move on over to PowerPoint. So this is where PowerPoint skills will come in handy. If you've never used PowerPoint, don't be intimidated. It's actually quite direct once you get the hang of it. It is like a really useful tool for editing, for creating like designs for flyers. It's like a watered down Adobe InDesign that is cheaper. So we're going to go ahead and delete these boxes because we're not actually making a real PowerPoint to like present to a school or a training seminar. We're going to go ahead and just delete those. But when you create a new document, it's going to be a standard like computer screen size, which is not what we need. We need that poster size to match what we're printing at FedEx. So I'm going to go up here into my search bar and I'm going to type slide size. And we're going to change it to custom. And this is where that measurement is going to come into play. So we picked, was it 24 by 36? Yes, 24 by 36, which is why it's helpful to write it down. So our width is going to be 36. That's going to be how long it is. And then our height is going to be 24. And we're going to hit OK. Now this next part, it's going to ask us to maximize or ensure our fit. Doesn't really matter because we don't currently have any content on our screen. If we had like already put in our pictures, then this might matter, but we're just going to hit maximize because it doesn't matter. All right, so now it's automatically adjusted the document to be the size of the poster that we are going to get printed. So now here's where we put in our art. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my picture using this pictures tab. And I'm going to hit this device because it's downloaded to my computer. If you are at the library and you've already like at home gone through and saved your pictures, you can like upload them to like Google Drive. You could put them on a flash drive. You can email them to yourself. Just access it however you need to, but right now they're downloaded to my computer. I'm going to go ahead and insert, let's say all of them, because I know I want to get all of these printed. Okay. Go ahead and insert all of them. It's going to like stack them all on top of each other first. So a little bit overwhelming. So we're going to go ahead and move them around. We're going to, if you hit shift while you resize the picture, it'll keep the ratio. So it's not going to mess with the dimensions. So like, let me show you an example. If I go to change the size of this picture initially, and I do this, what does it do? It makes the picture look all scrunched up. So we are not going to do that. We're going to hit shift on our keyboard and we're going to pull down the corner. So it just locks in the picture size. Just going to make them all small. See what I can fit. Okay. Give me a little bit smaller just so I can see. The great thing about this is that if you're not sure what poster size you need yet, because you're not like great at math, like I'm not great at math, you can go ahead and just start with a larger poster or start with the biggest one possible. But as long as you have the dimensions of your frame saved, you can, I'm going to show you how we're going to change the picture size to be that dimension. And then you can see how much room you have left. So let's say that this fishing boat picture, we want to be really large. We have a frame. It's a 16 by 20 inch frame. So what we're going to do is we are going to go into size. If you don't have it up in your toolbar here, you can right click and you're going to hit size and position. So now the important thing here is that we want to make sure that we hit lock aspect ratio. This is going to keep the painting the size that it is, so we don't get that like overly stretched or overly shortened kind of impact. And so as you can see here, the painting in its original state is this size, well, currently how we have it, but the ratio is 6.58 to 8.5. If I go ahead and hit shift and just make that bigger, it's going to change it to match the size that it is now. What we want is a very specific size for our frame. So I'm going to go and I'm going to type in 16 by 20. Actually, I'm going to type in only one of them first. I'm going to look at which size is the smallest size. It's this one. So I'm going to make that 16 inches. And what you'll see is it automatically changes the width to keep that picture ratio so it doesn't get overstretched. So the picture itself is 16 by 20.67. So it's just a little bit over my 20-inch frame, my 16 by 20-inch frame. And that's okay. So if your picture automatically fits your frame that way and it's just a little bit off, I won't even worry about it. But now, when we upload this document to the FedEx website, we now know this will print on a poster that is this exact size, 16 inches by 20 inches. So it'll be exactly the size you need it. Now, let's say for this picture, you're looking at it and you're like, you know what? That's a lot of white. I kind of want it zoomed in. You can easily crop a picture. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit crop. And we're just going to, cut off some of that extra white. We don't really need all of that extraness around it. Oh, I messed that up. There we go. There we go. It's a lot closer. So now I'm going to go to size, which is this button here as a shortcut. And let's say, I want this one to be an 8 by 10. This is going to be a little bit harder. So we know that the width is going to be the shorter part. So I'm going to type in 8 and it's going to automatically change it to 10.67. So it's just a little bit taller than my frame is. So what you can do, I like to zoom in so that I can see a little closer what I'm doing. We could say, oh, you know what? I could take off a few, centimeters here. So we're going to go ahead and crop. And we're just going to crop. And we'll see that number change. So we want 8 by 10. Crop a little bit more. Now we're 10.26. Crop a little bit more. Now we're 10.08. And if you wanted to, you could unlock aspect ratio and you could just type 10. And it's going to automatically crop it to the exact size you need it. I would just be very careful with not keeping that lock aspect ratio button on because you could very easily mess with the stretch of the picture. So yeah, so that's my 8 by 10 frame that I have. Now, if you're like, okay, well, it won't fit here, but I kind of want a picture that'll fit here. What you can do is you can easily just rotate. And it's still a little tight, but if I wanted, I could just move this up. It may not be perfect. And I would also be careful. I would give yourself a little bit of a lip around the edge because you don't want the print to be all the way to the end. So what might work best here, since an 8 by 10 is not going to fit there, is flipping this like this. And maybe doing it like this. If you're going to do, like, if you have a frame that's smaller than an 8 by 10, you could probably fit like a 5 by 7 down here. So like, let's say we want this picture to be a 5 by 7. I'm going to go to size. And look, it's really close to a 5 by 7 already. It's 7.72 to 5.82. So I'm going to go ahead and type in 5. Okay, now this one is smaller than 5 by 7. So if I were to go and get this printed as is now, it's not going to fit my frame because there's almost an entire half of an inch short on the height. So what you're going to want to do in this situation, if this happens to you, is you're going to want to go to crop. And we're going to go ahead and bring in a little bit on the edge. And then type in 5. And it's going to bring up that height. So bring it in a little bit on the edge and then type 5. Now it's 6.92, so we're getting closer. So you could bring it in a little bit on this edge and type in 5. Now we're at 7.17. So if you just crop your images just a little bit, you can make it fit your frame. But yeah, so see, that's not too far off. So there's my now 5 by 7. So that is how we can get multiple prints on one poster document, thus saving you money and making it easier to get lots of artwork into your home. So there you have it. If this is like, if this is all you want and these are your sizes, you could say, you know what, I think I might be able to bring my poster down a size. I think I'm going to try the 22 by 28. You can go easily into your slide size. And we're going to type in 28 by 22. Hit OK. Now, this is a situation where we're going to change the size of our content, but we want to go ahead and hit ensure fit. This might mess with your measurements, but let's see. So we've got a smaller poster size. Now we've got, okay, so it does mess with your measurements, which is kind of a sucky thing. But this was originally, we wanted a 16 by 20. Was it? Now it's a 16 by 12. Okay, I would not recommend doing what I just did. I'm going to undo my change. All right, so I just undid that. What I would do is if you find yourself looking at this and you're like, okay, that's a lot of extra white. I think I might be able to save myself some money. I would go to File, New, start a new document, delete, delete, and now we're going to go ahead and make our new document the custom new slide size. So we're going to make it this, instead of the 24 by 36, we're going to do the 22 by 28. Okay. Let me see. Okay. This is my new document. Sorry, wasn't sharing with you. So we are going to change it to the 22 by 28, which I just did, but I didn't change the orientation. So I need to make it landscape. There we go. Doesn't matter yet because we have no content. So now I'm going to go over to my original PowerPoint, the one that does have the right sizes. So this one right here. And once again, I'm going to go in. Okay, yes, 16 by 20, that's correct. 10 by 8, that's correct. 5 by 7, that's correct. And we're going to just copy and paste everything. So if you hit Shift and you click every document, that's going to copy it. And then if you hit Control C, that'll copy it. And then we're going to go to our new document, which is over here, but it's now the smaller size. And we're going to paste. We're going to hit Control V. Okay. So now you're looking at a smaller poster size. So if this is what you wanted to print, you're now thinking, oh, maybe that's a little too small. So we can go ahead and delete But let's say you change your mind and you want to save some money, so you're only going to do a few of these. You can now like do multiple 5x7s. I think that was this size. Yeah, this was a 5x7. Not that you want, 5 of the same photo, but if you had a bunch of 5x7 frames, you could easily fit, 5 5x7s and then the one 20x16. So it's just kind of a feel it out type of situation. So we are going to now show you, I'm going to show you how you're going to save the file so that you can easily print it. So double check all of your prints, make sure the sizes are exactly what you need them to be. 20x16, move it around. I will say, like I said earlier, just to give yourself a little bit of room in case you need for cutting, because you don't want them right next to each other and then you actually cut into the other one. But after you have it exactly as you want it, you're going to go to File and you're going to go to Save As. Save as Adobe PDF will do it quicker. My computer's kind of funny right now because I don't have Adobe downloaded. We're going to go to Save to Downloads or Desktop or wherever you want to save it. I'm going to go ahead and move it to Downloads. And I'm going to type Art Print. And I want to save it as a PDF. So you're going to pull down the menu and go to PDF and hit Save. Hopefully it works on my computer because my Adobe this is not responding. Oh, I think it worked. So let me go to my downloads. Yes, there it is. Okay, so it's now a PDF, which is a lot easier to upload. So we're going to go to the FedEx website. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. So we're on our FedEx website. We know we went with a larger poster size, 24x36, because that's what fit our prints. And we're going to go ahead and click Upload a File. We're going to hit Browse, and we're going to upload our art print. If you try to upload a PowerPoint document, like you just save it as a file that it is, it's going to do some weird formatting things in FedEx. So I really recommend that you save it as a PDF. But you're going to go ahead and upload. And you've done it. You can double check your finishing. If you want to add lamination, you can. Wouldn't worry about it. Double check your size. But there's your print. So you're going to add to cart. And then you check out. And you pick it up at your local FedEx office location. So that is as simple as it is, if you can call that simple. It takes a little bit of finagling, but it's really rewarding to have artwork in your home that's reasonably priced. So that's how you do it. Let me know if you have any questions, but good luck.